today we're going to talk about everything what you guys need to know about the upcoming CT4 and CT5 V BlackWing from Cadillac. So first of all, what are these new products? So essentially, if you guys remember the old CTS-V and the ATS-V from before, this is basically the replacements for those models. Now, if you currently see on sale right now, there's the CT4 V and the CT5 V. Those are now technically V performance models. Now, what this means is that they're below the top end model, so like an in-betweener model. That's why they don't have the same amount of power as the old full V models. It's really confusing to explain to a lot of people because everyone just thinks of V and think of the top end of Cadillac, but the best way I can tell you to think about it is if you go over to BMW and see how you have the regular models, the M340i, which is the mid-level, and then you have the full-on M models like the M3 and the M4. So this V models now are this mid-range kind of tier. The new V BlackWing models are Cadillac's new top-end high-performance models that the first two out, of course, are going to be the CT4 V and the CT5 V BlackWing. Now, Cadillac has officially announced that they will be unveiled on February 2nd, which is next month, and they should be going on sale around summer later this year. So that's a big thing to note. So what are these two cars going to offer? So they're essentially going to be using similar powertrains to the old ATS-V and the CTS-V, which means the CT5 V BlackWing, if you guys can keep along on track with me, this is going to get a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, most likely, and it should be making over 650 horsepower and over 650 pound-feet of torque. Now, the smaller CT4 V BlackWing is going to be using a twin-turbo V6, probably around 470 horsepower range, and with the torque, it should be similar to the old 3.6-liter twin-turbo V6 from before. Now, the big news is that both of these models are coming standard with a 6-speed manual transmission, probably a Tremec unit, and Cadillac is saying this unit is going to be much more durable and better feeling for the shifts than it was in the old CTS. Now, this is going back 2 generations when they had the manual for that model. If you guys don't want a manual, you can get a 10-speed automatic gearbox, which is going to be pretty quick shifting, as we've seen in the Camaro already, which is nice to see. Now, we don't really know any performance specifications for the CT4 V BlackWing as of right now, but the CT5 V BlackWing, we do know right now, should have a top speed around or over 200 miles an hour. And the reason we know this is because on the image Cadillac showed of the steering wheel, there is a speedometer there, and of course it goes up to 200 miles an hour. There's also a little hint on the serial number. If you zoom in more, we're not really sure what this means yet, some kind of code, but it could mean there could be limited edition models or something later down the road like that. So what else is new about the CT4 V and the CT5 V BlackWing? Well, if you look on the outside of the camouflage models Cadillac has showed, you can kind of pick out some of the details. Now, thankfully, some of my followers have sent in photos that they have taken out when they were driving. Our followers right here, Paul Lawn and Alex Isaacson. They were able to see the CT5 and CT4 V BlackWings out on the road. This gives you a little bit more of a look of what they were going to look like. I also did a quick edit from a whole bunch of years ago. It's been a while since these have been spied now, so you can kind of visualize a little bit more of the stuff that's happening. So if you're looking up front, the bottom front fender area is going to have these little square trapezoidal vents. It's probably going to be additional cooling for the brakes and other air for the additional intercoolers and stuff for the high performance engines. Additionally, on the side, we should see some side vents with the V badge going across. There's going to be things like forged wheels made out of magnesium, which is going to reduce unsprung weight, which should help improve the handling as well. We should also see GM's next generation version of their magneride magnetic dampers, which is going to be really good for handling and stuff with the suspension and everything. And of course, we should see those traction settings as well. Hopefully they're going to make that easier to activate than on the V models, CT5 V and the CT4 V, because currently you have to press a button and it's really annoying to actually get that rhythm right. A lot of people have been complaining about that so far. Additionally, if you go around towards the back, we're going to see things like a wing. There's going to be a wing, of course. The CT4 V BlackWing has been been showed by Cadillac, of course, with a much bigger wing than the CT5 V BlackWing, which is interesting. That means they're probably testing it more on a track focus environment, which means the handling is going to be pretty sharp, which should be nice for everyone to see. Other additional features that we know as of right now, at least from the photos that Cadillac has showed us, is that on the manual models, the 6-speed manual with the Tremec gearbox, the top of the shifter is going to have a metal implant in it that's going to be 3D printed, which is pretty cool. It looks kind of cool too. Additionally, from that, we're also going to have a carbon-backed bucket seats, which is a first for Cadillac. So kind of like what Alfa Romeo is doing on the Giulia Quadrifoglio, this is going to be here as well, even with BMW on their new M3 and M4 actually. as well. On top of that, we're going to have things like a nice carbon fiber insert on the steering wheel with an Alcantara and that 12 o'clock marker on the top. And that's pretty much all we know as of right now. At least we've seen some images around the internet floating around of some other interior spy shots showing some leather seats and stuff that you could probably option instead of the carbon backed ones. But that's all we really know as of right now. Now, everything's going to be unveiled in around a month's time, so stay tuned for that. So we'll have official specifications, the actual car we can see for the first time, and I can guarantee you right now it's going to sound really good. We've heard the CT5 V BlackWing was actually caught driving around a car meet in Detroit a few months ago, and the V8 sounds incredible, which is great because a lot of the competitors are moving over to smaller cylinders, 6-cylinder engines, some maybe even 4-cylinder engines, Mercedes, and this is going to be a nice welcome to the market, especially with the optional 6-speed, well actually standard 6-speed manual gearbox. But paired to a supercharged V8, I think a lot of people are going to like that as an option compared to the twin-turbo charged smaller V8s with automatic only, which is most of the segment as of right now. So this is everything we know right now, and I think everything you guys need to know right now. Expect pricing to be similar to the old CT SV and the AT-SV, so that's going to be in the upper $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 range, and they could go north of there if you add on additional options and stuff. So expect a very premium price for these, but you are getting a lot of car and a lot of premium performance out of them. Thanks again for watching, and make sure to follow us on all of our other social media platforms, and stay tuned for more.